Yoy!
I'm not gonna worry about your level of concern.
Yoy and double yoy!
We talking about
Twitter.
Triple yoy!
think of how stupid the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that.
Quadruple yoy!
Let's go Steelers!
We need volunteers, not hostages.
We mock ourselves.
It's that time again for the week's hot and toxic Steelers takes. This is what Jin's talking about. The conversation about the Steelers' social media conversation. Some people talk, and some people talk the talk, and then some people talk about the talk. Don't need to walk when you just got to talk. Okay, I don't know. That was my best. I'm Kyle Kreis. Here with me is Greg Benevent.
Hello.
And coming up in the second half of the show, will it be the second half? Yeah, we'll make it a short one. He says. He says every week. We'll just do a little status check on the mock. It's mock draft season, and even though I could respect nothing less than a mock draft, yet the cumulative energy of the combined it's kind of like a Voltron, a karmic Voltron.
Okay.
It can point the compass, steer the way.
Yeah.
It's like that one scene in Indiana Jones. I don't know.
Yeah, where all the artifacts come together to say this is the tackle they're going to draft.
We don't like the snakes, but you got to get through the snake scene to make it to the map room scene.
There's a lot of snakes.
We've got the map room scene coming up in the second half. Plus, the best April Fool's jokes of social media. Were there any? I don't know. But
I'd be surprised.
Yeah. The art of April Fool's has kind of, I think, been lost a little bit. It's kind of just turned into just like, let me lie about something. But there's actually, there's more to it.
Good. You're good.
Not that we'll have any examples of that in the second half. Anyway. Why don't we get to some of these hot and toxic takes? Starting with, we're back into its workout season. Let's start with @Sir Simeon Kelly, Simeon Steeman Willie Beeman Kelly. Justin Fields working on grip strength and endurance for the coming season. That's right, the workout warrior is back this time. What? I don't know. What is this? This is like something that I could do in I don't know. This is how I stretch before I play pinball or something.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, as someone without the best thumbs, this looks like an easy way for my thumbs to end up clear across this gym. I am very impressed by this workout because I'm assuming that weight is what, 25 pounds at least, maybe a little more than that. I mean, that's and to do it this fast. I mean, I don't know. But this also like we don't know. I kind of get the feeling this isn't the extent of Justin Fields' workout.
Yeah, well, I should be posting these kind of gym workouts the way, I'm like, putting in work,
Like moving your shoulders as you do it, like looking at the camera, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But this, I don't know, it wasn't the most inspiring workout vid. But some people saw it differently. Maybe I wasn't looking at it the right way. At FFB_fanatics, fantasy fanatics. Justin Fields identifies as a what? Justin Fields has been seen multiple times doing different hand and grip strength workouts over the last few weeks. Could he be identifying as a wide receiver? Oh, we're going to get the 2 QB package. I've been waiting for this ever since Slash and Neil were lined up together.
I mean, other than the fact that I don't believe Justin Fields has any history whatsoever as a wide receiver, Sure. I mean, I could see like every now, like very infrequently, Russ and Justin on the field just for an idea of like getting, maybe the league's best rushing quarterback onto the field to run the ball. But the idea of throwing to Fields, that seems like a very easy way to get Fields hurt. But I don't know. I just find that, putting it as does he identify as a wide receiver, it makes this like the most pathetic kind of engagement farming.
But if you were like, hey, Justin, we can get you on the field for 2 or 3 more snaps if you want to, roll in these packages. I was at a conversation that you have in April 2nd, April 3rd. I don't know.
I mean, it feels like that's a conversation you at least have like once he comes back to America, right? I mean, we don't even have evidence he's been to Pittsburgh yet, do we? But I mean, if you're going to do it, sure. I mean, the team, look, I don't know what Arthur Smith's offense is going to be. I have no idea what this offense is going to look like. I do feel fairly confident in saying that from time to time they would benefit from having the ball in Justin Fields' hands with him trying to run towards the end zone.
It's my quarterback.
Okay, yeah, I would. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing. Number. Wait, do we know what number yet? I've seen 5, and then I've seen 2. And then I've seen we don't know yet. I don't know.
Yeah, we know they're real weird about 1 for some reason. But I did just want to say I realize I'm probably poisoned by the only time I ever see anything of Justin Fields online, other than this grip thing, is one of those like 4 touchdowns he ran for like 50 yards or whatever. So it's not like you people post the fumbles. So I could be very poisoned by that as well.
Yeah. Same with Dante Jackson. It seems like I've seen a lot of Dante Jackson highlight videos.
Right. You don't see dudes throwing over him while like the Panthers have one of the league's worst records.
Well, if you had to buy a jersey right now, are you buying Wilson or Fields?
I mean, if I'm buying a jersey right now, I'm buying Wilson because I know he's going to start. That I feel confident about.
Okay, enough said.
If I had to. I mean, I'm not buying either, but I mean, if somebody was like, quick, I have all these jerseys in the back of my car, I have to throw one in your direction, I would take Wilson.
Well, okay, we know what Justin is doing. He's working on grip strength. Well, what's Russ up to? Where's his workout vid? At Extra TV. What? I'm a Access Hollywood family. Extra TV. Sierra and Russell Wilson had a blessed family Easter with the kiddos. Aww. Where's the workout vid? He's spending Easter with his family. This isn't. I thought he had hunger, not drive, not hunger. What's he doing family things on Easter? Where's the workout vid, Russ? Where's the where's the Franco's Italian Army shirt in the workout room on Easter?
I can't see someone getting upset some yinzer somewhere that he wasn't wearing the Ray Seals 60-Minute Men shirt and instead was wearing what seems to be, is that a salmon blazer? That is a whole different level of coat. I mean, that is something I have not seen in some time. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
It might not be periwinkle. It might be a salmon chanted evening there. Yes.
Right. That is some kind of coat. But I mean, I immediately flash back to, isn't this? I mean, maybe this is part of the reason him and Tomlin got along so well. Remember that from The Pivot when he told that story about AB? About AB was like, hey, I don't know what to do with my kid for Easter, and Tomlin was like, look, I'm going to send a tailor. We're going to get him a suit, and he can come do the Easter egg hunt we're doing in the backyard. So like maybe this was maybe this was part of that perfect meeting. This was something that came up like, hey, what are you going to wear a pink blazer on Easter or a salmon one? Like,
yeah, you know what? Maybe this tells me. I see what do they have? Like 5 kids there or something? 4 kids. Mm-hmm. He's got to earn. He still needs to earn that contract next year. He's hungry. This is just proof that he's hungry for the next contract. Okay, I guess you can have Easter off for us.
Well, but it's not like he did this a small thing. I count 3 different tents in the background for this Easter event. This seems like a sizable Easter for. I don't know if this was just his family. This might have been a bigger thing. That's a lot of Easter.
I don't want to stir the pot. I thought I read that he was like out of country, maybe even in the Caribbean, but I can't confirm that. And I can't confirm it from these pictures either. I don't want to stir that up. Mm-hmm. But he is somewhere bougie still, and nonetheless. All right, Russ. Happy Easter. Get back into let's see those workout selfies. All right, let's quickly get to con season. We're still in the midst of con season, even though it seems like everyone is on vacation as well. Is it spring break in the front office? Let's get to at MP Frazier, Mike Frazier. Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth, and Dan Moore are the only players on this entire offensive side of the ball who played for the Steelers in 2020-21. Literally no one left on the offensive roster played for the Steelers in 2020. Yada, yada. The Steelers have overhauled their entire offensive roster, including depth, in the past 3 years. We just said this. I felt like we said this in 2021. Besides Ben, we were saying we completely overhauled our offense. It was Ben and Deontay and Chase Claypool and who's number 69 on the offense? Dotson. You know, and now now we're rebuilding just all over again. Yes. I guess that's true.
Yeah, I mean that's it's staggering. I hadn't thought of this. I hadn't realized this, but that shows. It comes back to what hits me every now and then about how for an organization that's so naturally conservative and seen that way, and rightly so, that how just aggressive they've been in saying this isn't good enough. We're trying something different. And, whatever criticisms people can make at his team going forward, and while there are a lot and many will be made, the idea that they haven't tried or that they were content with the status quo, that's completely gone.
Yeah, that's true. Do we have any kind of sound? Oh, yeah, how about that? Let's level up for that one. Yeah, I mean, the picture, I still remember they were hyping the game. I don't know which game it was, but it was the silhouettes of all the players, and it was, numbers. And on defense, you had TJ and you had Minka, and but only on offense it was number 7, and then you had 22, and then it was Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Kevin Dotson. And that was just, and we were joking back then, like, oh, this offense is so young. Right. And now is it even younger than it was in 2021 minus Ben?
I mean, it might be if it's because I'm sure, Seumalo obviously isn't a rookie and neither is Daniels. But hey, I mean, they had that one offensive lineman they signed from the Chargers, right? That was on one leg for the entire season. And, Benny Snell wasn't a rookie that last year they let him go. So, yeah, I mean, if I can't imagine they're a whole lot older then than they were now. Of course, that's going to change when you bring in the 9-10-year quarterback. But still, as an offense, it's still very young.
Should the expectations be much different than 2021? We've got an older quarterback with a bunch of young offense that haven't played much. Besides a couple of key guys, Dan Moore is the experienced guy who everyone wants out of town.
Right. They're trying to get rid of as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, we want the fresh new rookie in there. Like that's, let's make the offense even younger.
Right.
Should the expectations be much different than 2021?
I'm sure what's going to happen is we're going to get a lot of my guess would be the team looks very good in the preseason, and we get a lot of it's going to take time for it to come together. In 2021, I kind of thought the idea was the offense was going to come in. This is one last ride for the Cowboy, and maybe we've got guys where if it all comes together, it could work. But I don't know. I mean, the expectations better be higher. I mean, this is a new offense, but this is, it's time to get this right. I mean, I understand that things take time to build and all that, but you didn't build this. This offense wasn't built to rebuild and wasn't built to grow. This offense was built to win now. That's why you got all the experienced guys that you did.
I don't want to sound pessimistic, but man, I could still see it being like 3 quarters of stalled offensive drives and wondering, man, the quarterback play doesn't seem to be above the par here. And then having to come down to the 4th where we let the quarterback kind of do his thing and we win some games.
That's very possible.
And it looks, and everyone's like, oh, this offense can't stick it out through 17 games. They can't win in the playoffs. And then, I don't know. It seems like a lot of our expectations aren't going to be met until January. We're not going to know what the heck is.
Right, which is how expectations work. I mean, it's and that's always to your point about the winning, being the free agent champions. I mean, it's not that's only a step below being the September champions too. But yeah, I mean, and I think also part of that is about improving the offensive line so that it can kind of carry this offense for a bit while the rest of it comes together. But yes, but the expectation should be higher. I mean, they went and cleared everything out to build this new offense where they're not held back by this. What this tweet shows, they're not held back by anything that Colbert had. I mean, this is almost entirely Kahn's offense at this point. So it's time, this is what Tomlin and Kahn wanted. It's time to make this work.
Tomlin said he felt year 2 that it was his team. I guess this is year 2 of Kahn. I guess we should say it's his team now too, right? Even if you could say that last year even. All right. Anything? I don't know. I think that's it. Let's take it to an early halftime.
Okay.
And coming up in the second half, Mock the Mock. Was it a quiet week? Maybe, I guess, in the scheme of things, but not necessarily. But we've got a couple new names on mocking list, plus the best April Fool's jokes of social media. Best in quotes. That's coming up in the second half.
Remember the heartbreaks. Remember the tears. Getting it all together takes so many years. Remember the close ones, and there were a few. You never gave up trying, wanting to come through. Well, this is your moment. You've learned how to fly. We'll remember that long road once more, then kiss it goodbye. You gotta believe it's your turn. You gotta believe it's true. In Pittsburgh, we believe the Pirates will come through. You gotta believe it's your turn. You gotta believe it's true. You know that we believe 'cause we believe in you.
It's the second half. Coming up, we promised some April Fool's jokes. But before any of that, it's time for your favorite time. Mock. Where's David Draymond when you need him? I've seen them mock. Oh, gosh, man. I need to write these lyrics on a page. Mock the mock. I've seen. Oh, why do I give up?
Hey, that was a great performance. Those little mock noises you made at the beginning were genuinely hilarious. I'm so glad we do the video now that, unlike prior years, you, the viewer, get to experience what I do here in the studio. That is genuinely fun to watch.
I'm just so many buttons, and it's like weird how the brain compartmentalizes. I'm like, can't all of a sudden these lyrics to a song that doesn't exist.
Well, also, on some level, you don't want to sing them because it's about mock drafts. I mean, you do a great job with the song, but it's on some level your mind just doesn't want to deal with more mock drafts.
You're right. My body betrays myself. I don't want to be. I don't.
See, I think that's your body looking out for you. I don't think there's any betrayal here whatsoever.
I've lost the path. I need to recommit to the song. Next week we'll recommit to the song. There's only so many weeks in mock draft season.
Which is great because it means this is finally almost done.
Almost, but still, I think we've got 4 to go, 3 to go. Okay.
No, it's 4 because it's the last Thursday in April, right? Isn't that right?
I don't know. I feel like it's in Groundhog Day, so yes. I don't know how many.
It's always the next week beyond the horizon.
That's right. Straight on till morning. Let's get to these mock draft takes, starting with the sound of by Josh Carney. Josh Carney, former Steelers cornerback Ike Taylor revealed on his latest podcast that Pittsburgh head coach Mike Tomlin had pro day dinner with a trio of Alabama standouts, cornerbacks Terrion Arnold and Kool-Aid McKinstry, as well as edge Dallas Turner. That's right. It is chicken wing season.
Chicken wings?
Dinner season. Even though this meeting was a few weeks ago, I don't know. I guess we're putting a little more attention into these pro day visits now because we're trying to. There's not really no any history of drafting a first round player outside of a visit from Tomlin and the GM Colbert or now Khan.
Right, exactly. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's impossible for it to happen. It certainly could someday, but it hasn't yet. It's very much like the way many of us grew up with the 16 seed never beating a number 1 in the NCAA tournament. Sure, it could happen, and one day it will, but it hasn't yet. So you got to look at stuff like this. I mean, what mock drafts I've been unable to stop myself from looking at. Many of them seem to have this Terrion Arnold gone by the time the Steelers pick, and that this Kool-Aid McKinstry tends to go a little bit later, but. For all the other needs the Steelers have, you can make a pretty strong case they should draft a corner, and it's kind of hard to go wrong drafting dudes high in the draft from Alabama. So it makes sense that Tomlin's going to be at this dinner regardless. Plus, this Dallas guy's supposed to go real early, but hey, you never know what happens 4 or 5 years from now. As we hear every time the Steelers sign somebody, they still talk about these dinners half a decade in the future.
Right. This isn't the date for The Bachelor. They're working on Bachelor in Paradise season, the next season. They're already working ahead. They're thinking two or three moves down the line. They're not worried about getting the rose this season.
Exactly.
The official visits for Tomlin and Khan have been Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, in Michigan. Clemson, I think it's more of just a tradition at this point.
Right,
I don't even think
just go. Yeah. I mean, it's because I know some people said, why did they go to Clemson? They only have the one guy in the first round that I guess is a pick. And it's like, well, because they go to Clemson. I mean, maybe there's a guy in Clemson next year. I don't know. They could take a guy in Clemson in the second or third round. But I mean, Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, those are ones you're always going to want to be there for. So that makes sense that they were at those. It's kind of surprising not Ohio State, but wasn't that scheduled at some weird time?
Not Oregon. We keep talking about wanting these centers, but not Oregon. LSU. We talked about these wideouts. No LSU. I don't believe they sent someone, but not the boss man.
Exactly. The other wide receiver was at Texas. Seems like if you're going to make a trip, that's certainly a place that's always going to have some players. But yeah.
And I'd be bummed. I mean, fine. You want to get a guy named Kool-Aid in the first round? I would love it. Can we put the first name on the jersey? I would buy 3 of them. But it just makes this Deontay trade even sting even more. It's like, so what? We got a first round corner. We already got Joey Porter Jr.
Right.
And so who is this Dante Jackson? So I would just be bummed about. It would just bum me out even more that Deontay Johnson seemed to be a bit of a miss.
Right. Oh, yeah. That they said that they absolutely just shipped him out to ship him out. Yes.
Let's talk about visits because Mims, who's the tackle from Georgia, that was a visit. That was a pro day visit from Khan, and Mims is now done the scheduled visit in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
So it seems like. This is certainly, if this was Love is Blind, these guys would have a connection.
8 starts. That's the one thing I know about Mims, other than the fact he's like the size of a small bridge. But it's 8 starts in college. That's wild.
Yeah, and I'm just, I keep thinking about Dan Moore. The Steelers probably don't want to pay Dan Moore next year. This year they want to pay him, so yeah. Next year they probably don't want to pay him $60 million or something. Right. So I could see getting that tackle now, but you're almost forcing yourself to trade up for that center now, or
right.
Or reserving yourself to going back to getting a Mason Cole, a J.C. Hassenauer, I keep saying, what do we know about Spencer Anderson the third or whatever his name is?
Or shifting Herbig over, something like that. If you've watched somebody try to do a mock draft in Steeler media, as I have done when I'm trying to go to sleep, they all run into that exact problem of, do you try to trade back to get a center, or do you trade up in the second round to get a center? Because they're in this like weird area where they can't quite find a center. Hopefully, gentle viewer, by the time you're watching this, they've found someone to at least be a center, so as not to make this a we have to draft a guy kind of thing. But yeah, that absolutely is an issue, because I can't remember it ever being like this in any position. Can you? Where they just didn't have anyone whatsoever to play a position. That this is totally uncharted waters.
Kendrick Green in 2021, I think, right? I mean,
but wasn't there some other guy who even was like a backup center? I could be wrong. Maybe there wasn't. But I thought they had at least a guy who was like just some journeyman. Wasn't Hassenauer the other guy then?
I mean, yeah, I guess young Herbig is the guy.
Right.
Now. I mean, he's the Hassenauer now. I guess
maybe they believe him in as a Hassenauer. Whereas
I'm your Hassenauer now, Nancy. What? Okay, I meant to look this up, but what about trading down from 20? Have they ever? I'm thinking not since Casey Hampton have they traded down in the first round.
Yeah.
Usually the philosophy is we're at pick 20. We know there's 20 pickable guys up there.
Right. Exactly. Yes. That
was a Colbert philosophy, I think.
Yes, it was, which of course Con was there for decades with them.
Yeah,
I mean, and they've moved up for what? Troy, Santonio, and Devin Bush. Those are the three move ups I know. Oh, and Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
So I mean, the one thing everyone says about trading down, and they're right about this, is you have to find somebody that wants to trade up with you, and they don't want to trade up to take the thing that you're hoping to fall to you when you trade down with them. So that sort of becomes a bit of an issue. So yeah, trading down sounds great, and getting another second and third round pick that could be that center, that other wide receiver, that defensive line, that slot corner. But
sounds like you've been watching Deal or No Deal Island, right?
Which I mercifully do not even know what station that's on. Which is one of the few things that's one of the few healthy habits I have in consuming media. But yeah, that's it'd be nice to trade back, but you have to find somebody that's willing to trade up and is willing to and is doing it to get a quarterback or a edge rusher,
and confident that your guy is still there. You know you want to trade back and then be like, we lost the guy that we thought was still going to be there,
right?
You know?
So now we're going to reach for some other guy that we would have taken with some of the other picks, and yeah, that's how you end up with a lot of nonsense. But I mean, I kind of figured there's got to be a plan somewhere. I can't imagine what it is right now.
It will reveal itself. We'll get and then we'll get the doc. We'll finally get the real draft day starring.
I told you, I think every year Tomlin should have to go on the pivot like the Steelers State of the Union. Just to explain what is happening. I am 100%, I totally back this idea.
Or at least every 5 years or something.
Right,
we need an update.
Yes, just to tell us, okay, this is what was happening and this is why.
All right, let's total up the mocks here. We've had 19 new mocks this week. Not the heaviest, but gearing up for April, we're going to see some heavy weeks coming. 19 new mocks. Now, there are a couple more, but keep in mind, I didn't count some of these wild mocks that were like, in this mock, we traded TJ Watt for picks 10, 34, and next year's 202, or something, I didn't do.
I saw that nonsense.
Yeah, so I didn't include any weird trade, or any things that were like stipulations, like you had to pick a quarterback in a round, nothing weird. We're sticking to our tried and true mock drafts.
It's proven correct so far, and also you did the right thing, because these mock drafts, the ones we're given, are the ones that you picked aren't like a game, that aren't designed as a game. Well, they are a game, but they're ones made by media professionals who are supposed to give you some kind of insight as to what could happen.
Media professional.
Right, that's why I said it, yes.
All right, 19 new mocks this week, so we're at a total of 55 that I've been counting since St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Leading the pack with 5 new mocks for a total of 14. It's Amarius Mims, the tackle from Georgia. Seems to be the guy that everyone, and it's lining up. The pro day visit, the scheduled visit, I guess tackle is a need. That's my only question mark is like, do you really want to invest first round tackle 2 years in a row after not doing it in a generation? You know?
Well, I think the argument for why they could do it with Mims is they see him as almost like a quarterback. When are you going to be able to draft somebody with this much size and talent? How often is a guy that with all this falls to 20 because he was hurt and played 8 games? I can see that argument for him, but again, you have to be right that this is the guy who's really that guy.
Yeah. I'm thinking of another big guy, Mike Adams, who had more starts, I think, than a Marius Mims, and was also big.
He was even bigger. Now, thank God, he was a second-round pick. But yeah, he was even a local guy, right? Wasn't he?
Ohio State.
But he was like from Erie or something. Like he wasn't. Yeah, he would grown up a Steelers fan, and that was a shame because he had all the talent in the world, and that did not work.
Next on the mock list, also gaining 5, tied with Mims for coming in second for a total of 11 mocks, is center Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon. My only problem with this, and the mocks keep coming for him, but no pro day visit when they had an opportunity. I believe they I don't think there was anything going on for Oregon there that day.
I think they, the only they sent Mark Bruner there because that's his job. He's the Western guy. And he was
may have even sent someone else, I think.
Yeah, they probably did. I mean, and again, that's the last time I think the Steelers drafted a guy in the first round from out west was Mark Bruner, and Cowers. That was Cowers' first draft, right?
Yeah, and, first round. I say Juju was USC,
second round,
but that's
he was a second round pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be. Now I've been reading that Jackson Powers Johnson is slipping in some of the drafts. Again, Jackson Powers Johnson has done nothing. I mean, it's not like
DeCastro. What about DeCastro?
Yeah, that's right. No, that's a good pick.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'm glad you did. That's important. We point that out, and absolutely. I was a first round pick in that one that worked out. Now all of a sudden I'm more into Jackson Powers Johnson. I hope this works. No, I mean, but I have been hearing that I've been reading. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
No one tells me anything. But it reads like, he's slipping down the mock drafts. But it's like, but nothing has changed. It's not like he got hurt or he committed a crime or something. He's just slipping for whatever. For all this just vagueness and fog.
The third next gainer. Now this guy is 2-4. He's fifth on the totals, but he's gained the third most. He gained 3 this week for a total of 4. Is Alabama tackle J.C. Latham. So, another tackle. I guess if you wanted to use our 50% threshold rule, if you add the tackles up, tackles and center, you would have it there too. But you could also say tackles and wide out. You could also say centers and wide out. But, between Mims and now J.C. Latham, you've got 18 of our 55 mock drafts.
That's a pretty high number. I know earlier in the mock drafts, Latham was a guy that was seen as being who was going to go long before the Steelers picked, and for whatever reason, he's now falling to where the point the Steelers could pick him, and I think it's because the other tackle, that Fuaga, I'm not sure I'm saying that right, I think has gone up from Oregon State. So I don't know why one guy is going up and one guy is going down, and all of a sudden the Steelers are now in play for all of it. This just shows how absurd all this is.
3 new names to the list for a total only 16 players, different players so far. So this is more concentrated than years past, but new to the list. Defensive lineman, our first defensive lineman. This guy from Illinois, Jerzon Newton. What do you think about defensive line for a first round pick?
I mean, this is very possibly Cam's last season. So, I mean, and Larry Ogunjobi probably doesn't have a whole lot more seasons in him either. So, I mean, you're drafting a defensive lineman pretty soon, one way or the other. So that wouldn't be the craziest thing if they were to get one in the first round. But I kind of imagine they'd get, since they did so well with Benton, getting him in the second, I kind of thought that's where they might try to look for another one again.
Your offensive tackle from Oregon State has made an appearance.
Okay.
What's his name? Talize Fuaga.
I think that's how you say it.
Oregon State. No, not a visit though.
Right.
Not a visit. And new to the conversation, a cornerback From Clemson, oh, that is a pro day visit, Nate Wiggins. Again, if we do corner, man, it'll just bum me out about Deontay trade. But I don't know anything about this corner.
I don't either. It seems like such an outlier, but then again, they were at Clemson.
All right, the beat goes on, as they say, the mocks go on. All right, enough said. Let's get to, how about some April Fool's takes? Starting with, I guess this was the most popular one.
Okay.
At BJ Thema, Pittsburgh season trade. Vikings are trading wideout Justin Jefferson to the Steelers. In return, the Vikings receive a 2025 first-round pick and a 2024 third-round pick. Since we're West Coast, by the time I saw this, I was already, kind of revealed that this was not a legit thing, but.
I mean, there were rumors about this before, and this also seems like the kind of, like this would, in a weird way, this would have hit more, I think, as an April Fool's thing if April Fool's Day had happened like 2 weeks ago, when like we were in the midst of Con making all kinds of deals, and this would have been the kind of thing that people were like, whoa, it might have caught a few more people just because there were rumors, like, sure, Con's willing to trade everything else to get maybe the game's best wide receiver. Why not? We've done everything else.
Yeah, this needed to, maybe if this would have been come out on the 30th and said something like, contract will be signed on Sunday. Like, it kind of indicating a April 1st thing. Maybe that would have been a better, because the art of the April Fool's isn't just like a straight out fib about something like, hey mom, I'm pregnant, April Fool,
But that seems to be how people do it. It's there's no joke or joke structure. It's just simple. I've deceived you. Good night.
Let's see. We got a little bit. This is a little bit better. This is from. Whoops. No, thank you. Oh, yes. Someone needs to collect these tweets. This is from at Steelers Ireland. Steelers Ireland, official Steelers Ireland account. Bringing the Emerald Isle to the Steel City with our new Color Rush uniforms. And they have a picture of TJ in basically a Jets jersey, This, I think, is a little bit of because it's kind of like, there is a Ireland connection. Maybe they would do this,
Absolutely. That's, because they're probably going to play a game in Ireland at some point. It's not crazy. And look, I don't know. I'm not good at Photoshop. I'm the last person criticized for it. I think if they tried to do something with the helmet, they might have been able to sell people a little more on this one. Because the jersey work, like, it's not just the Jets. Like, there's a little bit of gold in that, so I kind of get it. But this is one that, like, okay, I could easily see being deceived by this if you forgot to look at the calendar.
There will be an international jersey, won't there? When they finally get that Ireland game or Mexico game,
I could see them doing a patch. I don't know if there's because they didn't wear like a separate jersey in like London to lose to the Vikings.
No, it just seems such a great marketing thing.
Oh, absolutely. But it seems like, how did they miss this opportunity? I mean, what is it? Yeah. We think the Browns and the Eagles are going to play in Brazil. How can you not give those two teams some kind of Brazil-themed jersey, almost like the way hockey does the Stadium Series?
Yeah, exactly. And I want that jersey. And man, I just like
this is the rare April Fool's Day joke that's actually a good idea.
Oh, I don't know. How about this one? At Keith Duncan, PGH Keith Duncan, view of Acrisure Stadium today. Steelers implementing new artificial yellow grass for 2024 season. It's just the dead field. But that would be a sweet look if it was like an all like black, like put the end zones black and then have the field kind of this doesn't Iowa? No,
Boise State.
Boise State
does the blue. Also, that's the way it looked before they fixed the turf. I mean, when like Pitt would remember in November, there's that weekends where Pitt would play a game Saturday, the Steelers would play Sunday, and the days before that would be the Whippeal Championships. They played 4 games on that field, and by the time the Steelers came in, if it was like Sunday night, that's absolutely what it would look like until they put in the new turf. So yeah, but the idea of having that all yellow field from time to time, I mean, again, if we're looking for, if there's one thing we've learned in the last month, it's that change can happen pretty rapidly, and there might be more dramatic changes than you're used to. So again, this is the kind of April Fool's joke that on a long enough timeline maybe isn't such of a joke.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I don't have the sound, whatever.
Well, but hearing it from you means it more than from Tomlin at this point, Cal.
All right, that's about it, I think. I think the band's trying to yeah. April Fool's got it loose. Okay, band. There's really not much else to say. Let's just give the final word to Master of the Obvious. Don't you want to? At Michael Beck 56. Michael Beck. This is going to be a legendary division race. One of the best divisions ever. Actually, we just had the best division ever. It's like, were you not paying attention to this season? We just had it. I don't want another great division. I hope that those other teams can fall off the hype wagon and whatever.
I second everything you said, and I also throw in that, like, you could have like a legendary division race where like the winner of the team that wins the division goes 9-8. Like, that could be a legendary race too. Like, if guys like Lamar get hurt, or if, say, your 36-year-old quarterback that's been sacked an abnormal number of times gets sacked many times and gets hurt again, or Joe Burrow, who, despite having all the talent in the world, seems to have a lot of weird health issues sometimes. And we didn't even mention Deshaun Watson. So yeah, there's plenty of different injuries that could lead to a division race that is legendary, but gets legendary in quotation marks.
Legendary. I want fun and exciting, and I just want blowouts. I want blowouts. We've got 6 months to wait for it. You know, it's been. Thank goodness the Pirates have been good, because then it's like people aren't talking Steelers all of a sudden, and like, you know,
beat 'em Bucks. Yes.
All right. I think that's what we've been talking about.
That's what we've been talking about.
I'm on TikTok if you want to follow. Yeah, no one. It's like my TikTok follows are weak. Although, shout out to Steeler Sue out there. But
Sue.
I'm on TikTok at Kyle Christ. Greg, where are you on social media?
Unfortunately, you can find me on Instagram at Greg Benevent. B as in boy, E-N-E, V as in Victor, E-N-T.
If you're in the Anchorage or
Anchorage area. I'll be there Friday and Saturday night at Koots Ice Bar, part of the Alaska Before You Die Festival. Friday night, I'll be on the Stand Up Pants Down show, performing stand-up comedy in my underwear. And my mother sent me spandex, boxers, all Steelers logos, and pierogies. So if I'm going to be in Anchorage, I'm going to do this. I'm going to represent.
The pierogies are on the boxers, or you also packed some pierogies?
No, the pierogies are also on the boxers. It's Steelers logos and pierogies.
I thought you were like, yeah, I got some underwear and a box of pierogies.
That would be amazing. I don't know. I imagine it'd be tough to find a pierogi in Anchorage, but I have no idea. I leave very soon, so I got nothing. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe there's a big Polish contingent up there.
Yeah, why not? I'm sure they've got the
melting pot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If you're in Anchorage, then see you there. If you're in Burbank, who's going to have more people? Burbank flappers in Burbank or Koots in Anchorage?
That is a legendary division race.
What's the over/under on that? We'll be taking bets at what Shin's talking about. All right, until, leave a comment maybe, or leave a review. If you're on iTunes, leave a review. If you're on YouTube, you can leave a comment or a subscribe or something. I don't know. A thumbs up. Yeah, that feels good too, I guess. All right. Until next week, keep listening to your coach.
Be their best selves. That's going to be required.
Stay in school.